Hey guys, it's me Adam Saeed again. I just uploaded a video about 2 minutes ago saying that, I was going to upload a video. I can't technically do a reaction like by putting a small video in the, bottom screen, but I can do videos of me reacting to scary stories. And today, this scary story I'm going to react to is one of my favorite, one of the probably top known scary story narrator who tells scary stories. His name is Lazy Masquerade. You might have heard of him, might not. But I'm going to react to one of his videos he just uploaded recently called For Disturbing True Cult Encounter Stories. And just click on it right now. Click on it right now. It's kind of like slow on my computer, Right now I'm just hold on a second. Okay, here we go. Here's my reaction to his stories. To his true scary stories.
Experience. And just keep in mind, I'm far from the only one. First off, throughout my childhood, my father and sisters abused me sexually. Since the cult taught a strict familial hierarchy, with the father being the top dog, and then the mother, and then the children in order of birth, I was the youngest, and so at the bottom of the totem pole. My father would twist Bible verses to justify rape, death threats, and more. Because ATI is a homeschool cult, it was really easy to cover up the abuse from any prying eyes. My home was essentially a prison for 11 years, until my father died of a massive heart attack. Fast forward 2 years. I'm 13, with a mother who's frantically fixated on me being a troubled child, because 1, I dared to resist my father's advances and argue against the abuse I was suffering, gaining me the reputation of being rebellious. 2, I'm severely depressed because I'm a freaking rape victim, but depression is considered a sin. And 3, I asked too many questions as to why we believed the things we did. Needless to say, you don't ask questions. So, she calls some cult members here and there, pulls some strings, and long story short, she gets me placed in a secretive program called the Log Cabin Program. They tell her very few details about it,
what the heck's a log
and she tells me even less. All I know is I'm about to move to Oklahoma for a while to be fixed by nice counselors because I'm a dirty sinner. Wednesday, July 11th, 2001. I'm dropped off at a lockdown compound in the middle of nowhere near Skiatook, Oklahoma, called Eagle Spring Training Center. For appearance sake, they pose as a residential childcare facility. This means my mother literally signs over custody of me, her own child, to a bunch of strangers in a compound in the middle of nowhere, and leaves me there, and goes back home, far away.
That's some messed up crap.
They assure her I'm in good hands. For the next 2 years, I'm brainwashed, starved, sleep-deprived, threatened with a shotgun, punished, humiliated, interrogated, and terrorized. I lost 40 pounds in the first month or 2. They took me off of my medications, believing it was wrong to take them. I went cold turkey. I exhibited severe symptoms of withdrawal, and they go ignored. I'm worked grueling hours, sent on aimless hikes and marches, scrubbing floors on my hands and knees until my knuckles are cracked and bleeding from the bleach, punished with hard labor until I'm near fainting. Oh, they had such fun coming up with new and strange punishments, and they used the word punishment to imply that we deserved it, when in fact they are instructed specifically to break the student's will, whatever it takes. One such punishment was a forced vow of silence. You were told to never speak for days, or maybe even weeks on end. If you do, you are punished further. I was given tasks that were designed to fail. For example, extremely short time limits on difficult tasks. This was all in order to be punished and humiliated further. I was forced to grovel and confess humiliating sins, existent or not, in front of 30 or so members in the compound. I was given spoiled, undercooked foods, and even chemically treated water that burnt my throat and left me horribly sick.
That's a messed up.
I was placed in solitary confinement for 2.5 weeks, while they played music to torture me. The song lyrics went, "Trust in the Lord, He makes no mistakes. He knoweth the end of each path we take. For when I am tried and purified, I shall come forth as gold." Basically, it was a blatant message. You're being tortured because God loves you, and He's going to put you through fire to melt you into gold. I was screamed at and exercised for hours on end. I had no privacy. Even going to the bathroom, they would stand outside the door. I could go on and on and on. After all, I was there for 2 years. The scariest part of all of this is that I am far from the only one. The log cabin program was run in Oklahoma, and I believe an alternate version for Russian orphans was done elsewhere, either in Indiana or Illinois. All of these programs secretly tortured and brainwashed children and teenagers. Many of them were so-called delinquents, who were ordered by judges to be shipped to these compounds and held against their wills. This runs very deep. It's never been accounted for, and probably never will. They tried to investigate alarming allegations of child abuse in Indianapolis, and the whole thing got swept under the rug. The only thing you got to hear about on the news was Gothard feeling up a bunch of women. You never heard about his systematic child torture programs. Bill Gothard and the IVLP simply have their fundamentalist hands in too many pies. They'll probably never be caught.
Yeah, it's sad. People can do that, man. They get away. That's what's so crazy about it. It's true.
I live in the southern part of California, Orange County to be specific.
Yeah, good place to live.
My dad grew up here before moving in with my mother on the East Coast, and then eventually back to the OC. When he was a young teenager, most of our neighborhood was full of orange groves. He and his friends used to explore in there and smoke weed in them. My dad told me he once had a friend whose name I can't remember, so for the sake of this story, we'll call him Jack. He was the son of a woman named Frances Marie Klug, a religious cult leader who thought she'd been visited by God or Jesus or something. She claimed to be a prophet, and eventually broke away from the Catholic Church to form the Hill of Hope congregation. This woman had a lot of followers. Her son was definitely not one of them, as he would often hang out with my dad in the groves, smoking weed and talking shit about his mother and her followers. Frances, according to my dad, always had these bodyguard-type dudes around her, who, oftentimes, were armed. This made her far scarier than any elderly crazy woman should be. They'd go looking for Jack, forcing him sometimes to hide in the groves. The Hill of Hope eventually created a fort of some kind in Carbon Canyon, fitting because a bunch of creepy as fuck things go on there all the time. At this time, the fort, or compound, was in the process of being built. Jack and his mother had been bumping heads more often, and my dad started to notice that Jack wasn't around as often either. Eventually, he stopped making appearances altogether. Frances Klug eventually up and left with a lover of hers to another country. Some sources say that she returned and eventually died at the Hill in '09. But the Hill of Hope is still there in Carbon Canyon, still guarded and still in use, I believe. They're very secretive, and they don't let any outsiders onto the property. My dad swears that Klug had her followers kill her son and hide his body under the cement foundations of the hill. The kid disappeared without a trace. Klug didn't seem fazed, and the cement was laid down shortly afterwards. My dad says it's too much of a coincidence. He never did hear from his friend again. The original poster has included information, an article, and a link to the website of the Hill of Hope. This can all be found in the description below.
Okay guys, that's some sad stuff, you know. That's not, there's still 2 more stories, but right now, since it's my first, one of my first videos on YouTube, especially a kind of reaction, even though you can't really see it, there's nothing much, just pictures and just random pictures of something scary. But, and plus, right now I'm coming up on the 15-minute mark, so right now what I can do is I'm going to leave a link in the description box below. Check out Lazy Masquerade's channel, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Adam signing out.